thanks for coming out tonight to support Bob Wood in this Woodford Council kickoff tonight. How about that? Now, my name is Mike Maples, and I'm here to try to get the microphone to work, for starters, and just to provide a few introductory remarks about my good friend Bob Wood. Okay, and I know that for many of us here in the group tonight, you have different levels of association with Bob. Some of you probably met him for the first time tonight. Some of you probably have gotten to know him since he announced his candidacy. There are probably many here in the group who are familiar with the work that he did with the Waterfront Work Group over the course of the last year as well. And there are some friends and neighbors, I think, in the group here tonight, and there are a few long-standing friends in the group. And I happen to be a part of that latter. And I say long-standing friends because Bob and I have known each other for 50 years. Okay, 50 years. Now, when you look at me, you can say, yeah, I understand that. When you look at Bob, you say, how can that be? But it's true, okay, 50 years. Bob and I used to ride the same yellow school bus together. We were in the same Boy Scout troop. We were at West Point together as cadets, and we had many assignments together during our careers in the United States Army. And since then, we came back here to Alexandria, and we're now business partners here in Alexandria. So that's our relationship over 50 years. And I guarantee you, over that period of time, I got lots of great Bob Wood stories to tell you. But Margaret said I couldn't. And Bob said I didn't have time. But there are some things that I really would like to tell you about Bob Wood. And they're more, it's not a recital of what he accomplished in his service to our nation. But it's more about the characteristics of this man. And the first thing I want to start with is what a great family that he has. A wonderful, loving family. And Margaret, Anne-Marie, Lee, just a terrific family, and you ought to get to know them because they are just wonderful, wonderful people. Several other things that I think are important that I have seen in Bob over the course of the time that we've known each other and served together. First of all, he's willing to take on the hardest task. And he'll do a great job at whatever he's given to do. In the Army, he was selected to be a part of the startup of the Elite Ranger Regiment. I met one of his Ranger partners in here tonight, okay? Ranger buddy is in here. But he was a part of the stand-up of that regiment. Did a great job in a very, very difficult situation to give our country that kind of capability. He got a master's degree in economics, and he went to West Point and taught economics. But on the side, he was also teaching cadets personal finance, and I think that's important because, first of all, he's got that background in economics, but more importantly, he understands both the theoretical and he can apply it. He understands the practicality as well and what that means. The White House fellow, he served in the White House, the National Security Council. He saw how complex and difficult the government can be, and he understands that very, very well. Together we served in Germany during the Cold War. It was a period of time when we were introducing a lot of new equipment into our Army, part of which I found one of the introducers here tonight, and the kinds of capabilities that we needed for command and control. And we had digital capabilities to communicate for command and control. And it was new to all of us in how we were going to employ this system. But to Bob, it was a mystery he had to figure out. He had to get to the bottom of it. He had to understand it. And once he did, he had to leverage that for the benefit of the command for the organization and the success of the mission. And then he thought very creatively about how he was going to bring all these multiple organizations together, leveraging this new technology in order to provide for success in a common purpose. Leveraging technology for success in a common purpose. That's what Bob Wood does. Two of us both commanded artillery battalions, and as fate would have it, our battalions were together during Desert Shield and Desert Storm. We fought side by side. I saw Bob front. What I saw was an exceptional leader who was admired by his soldiers, admired by his subordinates, admired by his peers, admired by his superiors for his thoughts, for his leadership, for the way he accomplished what needed to be done during that period of time. Later, we had the opportunity to cooperate when Bob was down in Bosnia. He was trying to achieve the cooperation of a multinational force to bring all of those players together and to achieve consensus among the factions in Bosnia so that we could have a peaceful country. Achieving consensus, bringing players together for a successful outcome. And it didn't stop there, because from after that, Bob became a community commander, responsible for the quality of life for all of those families, soldiers who lived in that community, responsible for all of the services, for the education, for everything brought into that community, part of his responsibilities. He was given an opportunity to be the deputy director of our Command General Staff College, to educate, to train, in order to develop future leaders. Something he's got a real passion for is developing future leaders. He went from there. Bob and I had an opportunity to serve together on the Army staff not too long after that. Bob became the strategic planner for the United States Army. The guy who was trying to think into the future. He was the guy who was responsible for managing the transformation of the Army. When that plane hit the building, it went right underneath his office. We're fortunate Bob's here today with us. When he got up, he went right back to work, and he started that strategic planning effort for all of the activities that our Army has been involved in post 9/11. Later went to Korea, commanded the 2nd Infantry Division right up on the demilitarized zone in Korea. Did a terrific job as a commander of the division. That wasn't the primary purpose he got sent over there. He got sent over there because we needed to establish better relationships in a multicultural environment. To have our forces, the forces of the Republic of Korea, working together. That's what Bob Wood did. Came back from there, went to the Joint Forces Command. Once again, his technology side emerged as he started doing all of the experimentation, the innovation, and trying to find and to understand new technologies, new capabilities, and to bring that on board for the armed forces of the United States. So I tell you all this story. It all relates to jobs that Bob had while he was serving on active duty. But it's the characteristics of the man that I think are important here. An exceptional leader, a strategic planner, a creative thinker, an individual who tries to build and achieves consensus, who accomplishes the hardest tasks as he is set out to do. And I'll tell you, service means a lot to Bob. Service to his nation is exemplified by his service to our country. Service to this state, as he was called on by the governor to serve the state. And service to the city of Alexandria and its people that he hopes to do as a member of this city council. The history of this city and this city are so important to Bob as well, because he believes in the uniqueness of the city of Alexandria. He believes in the people of Alexandria. And he believes in the potential that Alexandria has for the future. And I think it's right and fitting that we're all assembled out here in this courtyard, outside Gadsby's Tavern, that really does represent the history of Alexandria. And I'll tell you that I am very pleased to introduce to you an individual who is going to have a remarkable effect on Alexandria's future, Bob Wood.
Heck of a business partner, a wonderful friend, a person I treasure in my life. Mike, appreciate it. Thank you for a rousing,
louder, Bob,
introduction. It is really an honor, certainly, to be here today, to talk to you. To be here at Gadsby's Tavern, and frankly, first and foremost, to thank Gadsby's Tavern for bringing us to a point, the center of history in our town of Alexandria, and to frankly introduce 2/3 of you to the back courtyard. And it is really a pleasure to talk to you and to welcome you as friends, associates, and supporters. I see you, all of you, out there in the crowd. Here at Gadsby's Tavern, where a lot of the history of Alexandria began. But importantly, in the crowd today, we have a lot of leaders who are part of Alexandria today, part of Alexandria's storied past, and in fact, candidates who are running with me in this election today. I see Frank Fannin. Thank you very much, Frank. Appreciate you being here. Alicia Hughes.
All right.
Andrew McDonald, running for mayor. We have as well Bill Cleveland here, back behind the We have as well Vince Callahan. I think came through. Vince Callahan served with us in the House of Delegates. We have a number of others and so many others that are distinguished in their own service to Alexandria, distinguished in their own right, but most importantly, supportive of this, frankly, rally to reset City Hall. That's what we're about. That's what we're here to do today. And we're doing it from the proper point and the proper time for Alexandria's history.